Commemorations are also being held this Tuesday to remember a separate but linked attack on the 9th of January in 2015, a hostage taking at a kosher supermarket in eastern Paris, which left 4 Jewish people dead. Then President François Hollande described those killings as a terrifying act of anti-Semitism, while our reporter Catherine Norris Trent is outside that supermarket in Paris. Catherine, tell us more about the mood there and the kinds of commemorations that are being held this Tuesday.
Hi, Karis. Yeah, I've just been speaking with the deputy manager of this kosher supermarket who said, of course, today is a very sad day, a significant day, but that they come to work here still, knowing that life has to go on. He said the Jewish community around here, those he speaks to and himself, don't feel particularly safe in France, but that's how it is. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to stop working in a supermarket that was the target of a deadly siege, deadly attacks, and that he carries on as he can every day. Of course, today everyone here is thinking about the 4 people who were murdered in this attack after an hours-long terrifying siege in which customers were held hostage inside this supermarket. Some of them managed to escape by going into a refrigerated room, a freezer downstairs, and getting out of a side exit, but some of them were held at gunpoint by the Islamist terrorist Ahmadi Koulibaly, who shot 4 of them dead. He also had 26 of dynamite with him, which he told the people inside that he was going to use to blow them up before he was killed in a shootout with police. So what we're going to have here today is, starting around 1 p.m. French time, we're going to have a commemoration ceremony, a very somber ceremony. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, and his wife will be in attendance. They'll be there with other officials, other members of the government and of past governments. Former President François Hollande will be here. He was in power at the time of those attacks 10 years ago. And we're going to have some family members of some of the victims who were killed here that day. So we're expecting, again, a minute's silence, the French national anthem to be played, a very somber ceremony to mark 10 years since these attacks.
And Catherine, these attacks are kind of regarded as the beginning of a wave of Islamist violence in France. Tell us about that.
That's right. It was these attacks in January 2015 which really marked a turning point for France, in which it was attacked large-scale and organised attacks, terrorist attacks. And it started, of course, a wave of continuous attacks that over the coming year and following subsequent years as well. In November, we had the Bataclan attacks. And so people were very afraid. Remembering back to that time, it was a time of great fear on the streets. People were very wary. They didn't know what was coming next. There was also a feeling of solidarity. I remember going out onto the streets of Paris on the night of the 7th of January 2015 to a huge spontaneous gathering which took place in the east of Paris, with people coming down onto the streets in solidarity with the victims and to show that they were not afraid, holding up signs which said "Même pas peur," we are not even afraid. And of course there were the slogans "Je suis Charlie," I am Charlie, in solidarity with the people who were killed in the Charlie Hebdo attacks. Many now are questioning whether that spirit is still existing in France, whether it's lasted, or whether in fact people have forgotten the message of those attacks and the solidarity and the outpouring of that time. And that's something that people are also going to be thinking about today.